and welcome to Identify, the news, views and insights from within the events industry. Always a topical subject for us, which is sustainability. I thought what better than being joined by Oliver Sterno, who is the champion behind Plastic Free Eastbourne, formerly a geography teacher, Oliver. But I thought I'd like to get you on Identify, really off the back of Identity winning COP very recently, and we're really excited to be able to work with the government to deliver this sustainable event. But also as champions in Plastic Free Eastbourne, you know, it's great to just for others to learn more about it. And so, Oliver, could you talk me through what inspired you to start Plastic Free Eastbourne?
Yes, thank you very much for having me here for the interview. And my title actually is Community Leader, Plastic Free Eastbourne. So you can put that in somewhere. So there's a simple answer. David Attenborough, he produced Blue Planet 2 series on TV about 3 years ago. And I just got impact from that along with millions of others. And so I started doing a beach clean and once a week. And from that, it developed up to what we're doing at the moment, which is quite massive.
And I'm sure he's inspired so many other people. And interesting, what is Plastic Free Eastbourne?
Okay, so it's actually a status. We got the qualification from a charity based in Cornwall called Surfers Against Sewage. They're organising plastic-free communities around the country, and there are about 600 of them altogether. Not all yet got the status. They're all trying to get the status. We were about within the first 100, and we got that qualification in December 2019, which was our ambition. We wanted to get it before 2020, so we did it. And we had to meet 5 different criteria, and we met them all. One of them, the first one we had to meet, was to persuade the council, Eastbourne Borough Council, to support us, and they did it unanimously. I spoke at a council meeting in support of the motion, and the mayor said that she never votes, she wants to stay a neutral mayor, but she said in this case she will. So it was a totally unanimous, if that's not tautological, but it was fabulous. And there were various other things, like, for example, yourselves becoming a plastic free champion. We needed to get 34 plastic free champions, which means that you have endeavored and actually have achieved the replacement of single-use plastics with sustainable alternatives. So you are part of our story.
Great. And why, to you, why is this change so important?
It's quite becoming more and more obvious as time accelerates that we are on a curve. I don't know which way it's going, but a curve leading to the destruction of the planet. Now, that may not be down to humans, certainly not alone, because there are cycles that the planet takes over the history of its life, but nevertheless we are contributing massively to that attack on our planet. And so it's important we change gear. We've got to change our whole approach to how we manage our resources. We're damaging the planet by mismanaging resources. We've got to turn that around, and that's massive.
And what would you say are some of the top things that society or communities can do to help reduce waste?
So, not litter to start with. They're little things quite often for individuals. Don't litter. Take your litter home with you. Don't buy single-use plastic items like bottles of water, which is one of the biggest polluters on the planet. It's not only bad because it's consuming an item once, then throwing it away, but it's also damaging for the environment. The ecosystem is getting badly affected. Just look at the gyres that are in the oceans. There are about 5 massive gyres of waste. And so managing that is important. That's for individuals. And there was a campaign, which you don't hear now, straws suck, which means don't choose. Why have a straw? Only children might want a straw, or people who are disabled in some way, but straws should be irrelevant. For example, balloons. Don't have balloons at ceremonies and events and festivals and celebration. They're not needed. when VE Day happened originally in 46, or was it 45? 45. You look at lots of newsreel, they're all enjoying themselves, having a fantastic time, street parties and so on. There's not one balloon, you see. You don't see one balloon. They are irrelevant. Well, that's individuals, but what we're trying to do now is approach big business. And that's where it becomes really tough, because big business is where the stuff is produced in the first place. And we need to change that. I'll talk later, if you want, about ways that we might be able to achieve that.
Interesting. And I think something that we've learned when working with COP is about actually just changing your mindset completely. And before you think about how you can reuse something or recycle something, it's to reduce. Do you even need it in the first place from a business perspective? Because often or not, you don't. You can find an alternative to a balloon. So you've struck a chord with me. I think really interesting for me, I want to understand, is we've been talking a lot about the next generation of event goers and the next generation of event people coming into the industry. But actually, can I ask you the question is, what can we teach the younger generation about the importance of sustainability and kind of the impact? What would you be saying to this next generation coming through?
Well, I've done lots of assemblies with the next generation coming through. We've encouraged them to do the same sort of things I've just been talking about. For example, we had an art competition with 15 of our primary schools, which is most of them, and they all took part in trying to make posters that turned into signboards that we put into our parks. So we've got 38 posters or signboards in 20 of our parks, 48 actually, and they are saying to people, they're beautifully decorated and designed by the children, please take your litter home with you. Thank you for keeping our park clean. And if people see that now, they don't need the internet, they don't need media, social media or anything. It's in your face. You're walking into the park or walking out of the park. They're on the outsides actually going as you go out. There's an impact straight away. And if you have that in your behavior pattern, instead of chucking stuff, the throwaway economy, instead of that, you have that in your head that you look after the environment, then it leads to lots of other thought processes. Immediately, children think, I'm going to pick up some litter. And we've got all sorts of campaigns going, and it involves children. A lot of children are getting involved in that. We try not to, we don't campaign negatively. We don't say horror stories. We just say, let's do it step by step. Let's not kick ourselves. Let's not beat ourselves up. Let's just do little steps at a time. And each little step leads to more.
Great. And I think that's a great time to end, Oliver. And I think that is it's a really good message that there's no point bashing ourselves now. Let's make change. Let's make a difference and start with incremental steps. If there's anything that you've loved listening to today, please go and visit Plastic Free Eastbourne. You can Google it and find out more, or leave a comment in the box below about getting involved in Plastic Free Eastbourne. We as champions ourselves in the business really see the value in it, and I hope you do too. Oliver, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.